Welcome to the podcast from HeadHunters Northwest. HeadHunters Northwest. Specialized recruiting, specialized approach, where we take you behind the scenes into our customers' businesses. For over 20 years, HeadHunters Northwest has served the global defense, small arms, and shooting sectors worldwide. Listen in as we discuss the inner workings of our USA and international customers. HeadHunters Northwest, finding you the best heads for business.
Hi, everyone. This is Shaylene Kiner with HeadHunters Northwest podcast. This is going to be a fast 20 or 30 minutes, I know, because my guest, Keith Berry, who goes by KB, who is one of the owners of 51Fifty Rifles, he is a pleasure to talk with and fun. And I know when we were on the phone, I mean, we could have kept talking, so I'm going to have to get on a plane, I guess, and go out there. So did I say the name of your company right?
Yeah, 51Fifty, yeah.
Okay.
And then our sister company is Optimum. So 51Fifty is all the firearms, serialized firearms, whereas Optimum is our accessory line. So like our scope mounts and sights and the hand guards, scope rings, that kind of thing.
Now, see, I've learned something new. I don't even think I realized that. That's what I love about these. Well, it's such a pleasure to have you on. And we have you on today because the podcast right before this with Joshua Boomgarten, who makes products and accessories, and they have a great company called Break Arms. He mentioned you several times in the podcast and said, Shaylene, you have to talk to KB. I mean, he has to be on your podcast. So how fun is it for me that I get to have you? So thank you for doing this. I want people to know about you and know why Joshua is so excited about you two. I don't know if it's a formal mentor and mentee, but it should be.
No, he didn't. I just let him play with our toys and he fell in love with them. That's all. Nothing big. You let someone play the full auto and all of a sudden you're their best buddy.
Yeah.
Just joking. We use Josh's parts in our weapons and he's great. They're great people over there at Breed. Josh is a good guy and he's done a great job. We use his charging handles. We use his muzzle devices, which interact with the suppressors that he actually introduced us to, anechoic suppressors. And so it's just a very symbiotic, friendship relationship that it didn't require any effort. It was very organic the way that we all kind of came together and started working together, and it's been awesome.
That's great. Well, he was so impressed because he said that you started your business in a very unconventional way. And we talked about that a little bit, but I would love for our audience to hear about your dad and how you got into this. I just think what you guys stand for, it's not really about just making rifles. It's actually much deeper than that.
Yeah. So the joke is that we end up becoming a gun manufacturer, but on accident. And so what happened was my dad in 2015 achieved a lifelong goal of becoming a gunsmith, certified gunsmith. And I get a call from him and he's just like, I've done it. Thinking he'd been married 40 something years. What's great. This would be an interesting phone call. And He's like, I achieved my goal. I'm a certified gunsmith. And I was like, that's awesome. Anytime anybody achieves a goal, no matter what point in life, the fact that they stuck with achieve something that was important to them, it should always be commended. But my dad's one of those people that he didn't do a lot for himself. He would help out someone else, even if it meant that he went without or there's something he wanted to do or him and my mom wanted to do, that he would help someone if they were in need above helping himself. And so I had that conversation with my wife and I said, I'd really like to do something for dad that he would never do for himself. And she's like, well, then do it. You don't need my permission.
Yeah.
My dad and her were very close also before he passed. And so I designed the first rifle I ever built. And I spent a few months building and designing it. And what I was doing is tricking my dad into designing his dream gun. And so I call him like, oh, Dad, I had a conversation at work today with these guys. We're talking about barrels and fluted barrels. And you go, oh, God, I've always wanted to get into fluted barrel. All right, check. And I just went through and basically made him design his own rifle for the purpose of hunting. Because I was, he's a big hunter. And then I engraved it with all his pertinent military and service information from Vietnam and the silhouette of the ship he served on during Vietnam and presented it to him for his birthday that year in 2015. And first time I've seen my dad outside of his dad's funeral, speechless. And
wow.
I only got to shoot it, I think twice, maybe 3 times before he passed. But that set us on a path. And my wife says, well, that turned out amazing. Would you make me a rifle? Okay. So and then, I made her rifle's name is Medusa. Um,
That's great.
it's four snakes wrapping around the suppressor. And that led down to, what you fast forward and what really kind of really truly started this was when those 5 officers were ambushed in Dallas in 2016.
That was a bad day.
It was a horrible day. And we have a lot of friends and family in law enforcement in multiple states. And then my wife says, hey, can we do something for them?
Because you guys used to live in that area, right?
Yeah. At the time we lived in Dallas.
Yeah.
When all this happened.
Yeah.
And even building one for my dad, he lived in Dallas. And so I started making some calls and I got in touch with Trey Penny, Sergeant Penny. At the time was with the Dallas Police Department, just sergeant there. He's finally retired, but he's the founder of, at the time it was the Dallas Fallen Officers Foundation, which is now called the Texas Fallen Officers Foundation. And he's also the president and founder of the National Fallen Officers Foundation. And we called him and said, hey, would you be interested in us building a themed rifle, something cool looking, to pay tribute to those officers that you could auction off for proceeds to go to the family? And he's like, absolutely. So we built the rifle and we actually called it Tribute, had the Dallas skyline engraved down the handguard with a thin blue line through it. But that sold for a little over 15 grand, I believe, at auction.
Wow.
So that went to the 5 family members. And that just kind of started from there. People started, hey, well, we have a charity, would you help? And I think we're involved with 9 or 10 charities now total, at varying levels. We don't do, here's a gun.
Right. Right.
That gets expensive and the ATF paperwork's no fun. But, we'll do what we can, whether it's we've cut challenge coins and we'll throw a gift certificate on the table with a custom made challenge coin. And that gift certificate's good for a percentage off or for a free scope mount or whatever, but it has to go to silent auction so that the charity makes some money. We have certain rules. The charity has to be more than 90 cents on the dollar, has to go to the first responders that they're trying to help, or to the veterans that they're trying to help. It can't be going to salaries and overhead. It really has to go to the people. Otherwise, what's the point? I mean, there's a lot of charities there with big names, but people would be unhappily just blown away, shocked by how much actually goes to the people they claim they're helping versus how much is going into the administrators' salaries.
It's an important thing to look into. And people, most people, including me, don't always think to do that. But that's very commendable that you guys are setting the bar and saying, this is what we're willing to do, but this has to be this minimum goal.
Yeah. And that led to, that led to our platform. And that was because unlike in this, and I may be wrong. So if I am wrong and anybody's watching this from another company, I apologize. I don't know everybody else. But through helping those people and our involvement in these charities, I got to talk to veterans. I got to talk to prior service law enforcement or first responders and find out what they felt shortcomings were in weapon design. And then we actually listened to, and everything about our platform, even what we're working on for debut at our Range Day SHOT Show 2025, everything comes from that real world input. And even when we released our gun, we had a few more things come through and we listened to it and we vetted it out, did some more research. Oh my God, this was great information. And we made a change or adjustment to incorporate that data to make the platform even better.
Real users, actual users of the product.
Yes, the peacekeepers and the warriors that keep this country free and protected. That's who I'm listening to. Because at the end of the day, if it's what they need and want to do their job, well, then the consumer buying it to go to the range, to go hunting or defend their house and family is going to be better off as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it's an interesting way to start a business. I mean, really, it is by accident. And here you are, making these amazing rifles. And anyone who's listening right now, I should have said in the beginning, you can look up their website while you're listening to this. It's 51Fifty spelled out, FIFTY, rifles.com, correct?
Yes.
Right. And it is so 51FIFTY rifles.com. Boy, we really have to test my spelling. I should have written that out in front of me.
Yeah, there's so many tests at the end.
Yeah. Because it's a really neat website, and you have some images on that website of real operators who use your rifles and that have had a part in making input on what you're making.
Yeah, and some of them are just relationships, well-known people that we have been lucky enough to cross paths with and have mutual, similar ideologies and thoughts on things. And I literally is just getting a text from John Tigan from Benghazi, which on right there on the main page is a limited edition pick rifle. We're only gonna make 50 of them, and so we're pre-selling them before we cut them all because it's a lot of laser time. And then custom serial numbers, so we got to have them all sold before I start serializing because things have to be serialized as. But we've gotten to know we've done 4 rifles now for Randy Couture, the MMA legend and actor. In fact, this one is actually his personal rifle that's being shipped out to him. He's not auctioning off. And the Sheriff Mark Lamb, he's all on Fox News all the time. He's a friend of ours, as well as his chief deputy. They're both retired now, or retiring next month from law enforcement. Dana Lash, national radio show host, she has one of our guns. We've been very lucky to get to know a lot of famous people, well-known people, and they're just normal people like the rest of us.
Right.
Like people, and they they love shooting, they love the Second Amendment, and they literally came our way because of it started out with our charity work, and now they own our guns.
That's really, really special. Now, you mentioned that you're going to be at SHOT Show here in a couple months, and you guys are going to be at Range Day.
We're going to be so it's not going to be the SHOT Show Industry Day at the range, the typical one knows about. It's going to be held at Prairie Fire.
That's right.
Yeah, Prairie Fire is associated to Staccato, fantastic pistol brand. And actually quite a few large manufacturers are going to be out there with us. The whole 550-acre facility is sold out. Cool. Yeah, so there's a lot of big known names like Colt and others. They're going to be out there with us. And the cool thing about it that we liked is, SHOT Show doesn't allow the public to attend, which
right. That's true.
Most of us don't like, because at the end of the day, the public's the one who's going to buy the guns or right. What was being shown at SHOT Show, the knives, everything else. Prairie Fire is doing it different than, even if you're in the media and you don't get a direct invite to the SHOT Day at the range, you can't go to SHOT Day at the range. Well, here you could actually still, even if you weren't directly invited by a manufacturer. And then Prairie Fire says, look, public wants to come, they can pay admission at the door, they can come in. Because they're the end user. They're the business we're trying to earn ultimately anyways.
Right. Right.
So I honestly think that NRA and Gun Owners of America have done a better job with their shows in the sense that they'll do half of it's a 4-day thing. They'll do half of it that's industry only, and they do the other half that is the public can come in alongside the industry, and maybe they get to meet these influencers or whatever that emulate or run into famous people, see the guns that are about to hit the market, which would be smart on SHOT Show's part, because then those people go into their dealer and like, hey, you need to go get this thing on the shelf. I want.
It is an advantage. Those 2 trade shows you mentioned, the NRA and the gun owners, in that your product managers also, and you can get feedback right then from the public, and that is a different kind of feedback that is direct from the consumer saying, hey, we don't know why you're not doing this, or have you considered doing that? And while it can be time consuming and exhausting, it is the end consumer, and it is very valuable at those shows for the consumer to go.
Yeah. And the hard part is we're not going to go to all the just because of time and constraints of locale, because they're so spread out. All the consumer shows get to be, real small. And last thing, at least me as a manufacturer, that I want to do is see, Bob Johnson guns. They're trying to sell guns at a trade show, and then we're coming in as manufacturers saying, hey, ignore them, buy directly from us.
Right.
Our whole business model is made so that dealers make the margin and can actually be profitable, but offer a superior platform that is actually moving technology along and innovation along. and offer it to their consumers. The other thing is 100% of everything that goes into our weapons is American made, period.
Fantastic.
And then if we have a vendor we're going with because we vetted them out and they're American made materials and process and everything, and they're veteran owned, they're going to get preference over a non-veteran owned supplier.
Yep, that's awesome. That's incredible. We didn't talk about that before. That's really special. And just to kind of go back to the dealers, they're really important to us. And I know it's really hard as a dealer, which when we use the term dealer in the industry, it means, your local gun store, right? It's someone that I go down here in Cody and I go to the gun store and I pick up my rifle because I need an FFL to ship it into. Right. Or I go and pick one up. I've done that with our local gun store where it's, my husband's birthday and we've been talking about, maybe shooting some competition pistols for fun or something. And it's something we do together, a thing that we all share. And those dealers are really important to us in our industry, and we do need to support them. I think that's really very special and good to note that, because without them, it would be really hard for us to be in business.
I agree. And the other aspect of that is the consumer. And I think a lot of people in this industry overlook that. So as you know, in the industry, there's minimum advertised price map. And after spending 20 years in the car business, I view anything like that as the race to the bottom. When you start making the price of anything fluid, all you do is devalue the product.
Yes.
But we also don't agree with people, oh, the market's high right now on that. Let's run it up over. So our policy is also with our dealers is the MSRP is the MSRP, period. You're not allowed to discount it. And you're not allowed to sell it for $1 more. The price is the price. That way the consumer knows no matter what the economy's doing, we are stable, we are consistent. We are not the cheapest gun out there, nor do I want to be the cheapest gun out there. Good isn't cheap, cheap isn't good. If I'm going to put our logo, our name on it, my name on it, Steve's, David's name on it, it is going to be the best product available, period, even if there's more expensive products out there.
Yeah, right. Well, it's important. That's how I feel about my recruiting. My name's on it. I'm not the cheapest and I'm not the most expensive, but I do feel like it's really important to know where your niche is in the market and be true to yourself. I just don't want us to ever be like the pizza industry. Does anyone ever buy a pizza now without a coupon? I mean, I don't want to be that.
Right. If people who come to me are going to come to me or my brand and David's brand and our brand because of our innovation, because of our superior quality, because of our commitment to American made, because do we want to be financially successful and be able to provide a better life for our families? Absolutely. Who doesn't fighting on business? That said, we also want to be able to continue to give back and help those who have helped our country or protect us every day, firefighters, so on and so forth. And the only way that we can do that is obviously selling them. Plus another.
Well, now you guys are going to be, people can reach you at SHOT Show. I know you're not doing the industry day at the range, but you're going to be walking the floor. And I believe some of your products are going to be in different booths.
Yeah, we're planning, 4 or 5 booths, 6 booths, myself and Steve, or myself, Steve and David. I'm not sure yet what the arrangement's going to be. We'll be in Under Armour's booth on Thursday of SHOT Show with the cast of Surviving Man TV show and of course, American Sheriff Mark Lamb will be there with us, a friend of ours, because we just filmed Surviving Man, which our episodes will start airing, I think, late February, early March. Our weapons were used on the show. Actually, this is one of the ones that was used on the show.
Oh, how cool!
And then otherwise, we'll be moving around. I think we're gonna have some weapons. So we have a new hunting rifle line. We're bolt action hunting rifle line and precision rifles that we're debuting. Those will probably be Hyperfire, our trader company's booth. There'll probably be some also over at Anechoic, our suppressor company's booth.
Okay.
I don't remember if Breek was having a booth or not, but I'll follow with Josh. But
I think they're going to be their products are going to be on a booth. I can't remember right now, but I know they're going to be there as well.
We just wanted to try something different, but we will have, we're going to set up our shooting lane at Prairie Fire almost like a SHOT Show booth. So when the people come through, and honestly, I'd encourage everybody, you're going to SHOT Show, even if you just go to SHOT Show to go to the Prairie Fire Range Day, you don't go to the main show.
Yeah.
The amount of vendors that are going to be out there, they're putting up a giant carnival tent. They're going to have non-firing vendors are going to be set up in there. Josh is going to be set up in there.
Okay.
They're going to have food trucks out there. They're running shuttles to and from the strip. I'd encourage dealers who maybe are like, they're hesitant about spending the money to be at the actual SHOT Show because badges and everything for non-display vendors are quite expensive. Fly in Sunday, do the Prairie Fire Range Day, come shoot some really cool guns, meet some great people, write some orders for your business for the year to get some products. They're going to be on the floor that maybe you otherwise couldn't afford to go to the SHOT Show to do, or couldn't deal with the credentials, or just don't want to deal with 60,000 people. I get that. Some people don't want to deal with that. And then go home on Tuesday. You could do all of that for less than doing 2 days at actual SHOT Show, but still get all the benefits of being SHOT Show.
Well, there's a lot of choices in Vegas, and there's a lot of off event things going on. So you could do a mix of both. You could do, it's pick and choose, but it's good to know people have choices. Now, this Prairie Fire thing, how do people find out about it? Where's the information at?
So Prairie Fire, you'll be on our social media. So on Instagram, it's just @ and then the number 51, the word 50. So we will, once Prairie Fire makes the calendar, everything available, the portal, they're supposed to have the portal live, I believe, early next week.
Okay.
So, literally like the 1st, the 2nd of December, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Be able to go on there and sign up for access. Any media people, dealers, anybody watching this, they want access. They want to come out and meet us and see what we're all about.
Yeah.
They're more than welcome to reach out to us directly. Obviously, there's a contact on our website. They contact us through media account, and I have no problem putting them on our list of guests to get acceptance in. And even if they just show up, there's going to be a minimal admission at the gate.
That's great.
Prairie Fire is an absolutely beautiful facility. They do an amazing job. I've gone to several outdoor facilities all over the country, and if it's not the best, then it's damn close to the best facility in the country.
That's the one nice thing about Vegas. You can get anything and do anything, and it's amazing. Now, when you go, if you've not been to one of these, and you decide, hey, I'm going to go to it, remember to bring a hat and a coat, because the desert is very cold in the mornings there. And we have had some years where it's cold all day and the wind's blowing. So you don't want to be miserable like me. The first year I went to media day at the range, I did not know any of that, and I was very cold.
Well,
so I don't want that for anybody.
Prairie Fire has no mountains breaking the wind. There's no trees breaking the wind. It is wide open and windy. It is absolutely worth the trip to come out. I'd love to meet everybody, especially you dealers, law enforcement, whatever. Come on out. We're being looked at by several law enforcement agencies now for the versatility and adaptability of our weapons. We're debuting our new hunting rifles.
Oh, talk about the left hand, right hand thing.
Yep. So everything in our new hunting line, all our bolt action guns are available in left hand, right hand. Our ARs that we're known for, which we're debuting our AR-10. This will look different than what you're seeing here because it's not the new one. We're not going to let anybody see it before SHOT Show.
Yeah.
It will have our cam system. That's what we're known for, eliminating the takedown pin system. So this is a right-handed gun, 14.5-inch upper. I can throw a lever, take that off. And if this was a left-handed upper, you can imagine that I just went to a 10.5-inch gun.
Wow.
That quick. But all your controls will be ambidextrous. They will fall to the same point on the gun, on both sides of the gun, both your bolt catch and mag release. So they'll require the same pressure. They'll be in the exact same location. So it'll basically be mirrored on both sides of the gun.
They're truly ambidextrous. They truly.
Right. Literally, you go from, like I said, left-handed upper to right-handed, with the controls being the same in a matter of seconds.
A big deal.
And then AR-15s as well.
Such a big deal. And like you taught me on the phone, it's not just about being left-handed, right-handed. It's that some people their one eye is different than the other. And so you might be right-handed, but you might need a different side for your, whatever is your dominant eye.
Right. So you either learn to shoot left-handed. You can get around that if you shoot with both eyes. If you're right-handed and shoot with both eyes open, but a lot of people want to shoot with both eyes open. So it is honestly a good skill to have anyways. A lot of our military practice that. A lot of competitive shooters practice that. Strong hand to weak side, knowing how to shoot with your opposite hand is a good skill, because if Lord knows something hits the fan,
Yep.
you can't use your dominant hand. You still want to be able to stay in the fight.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's very important no matter what. Now, a couple things I want to mention before we wrap up here. Your Instagram, people should follow you on Instagram. That's your main place. And it's at 51Fifty.com. Or no, that's your handle. That's your Instagram is 51Fifty. That's it.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And then the other thing I wanted to mention, I know we're getting to the end of our time, is that we were talking about earlier when we weren't recording about articles and write-ups, and you guys have gotten quite a few write-ups on digital journalism write-ups and articles and things. And I just wanted to mention to all my journalism friends, who I have many, this is just a really special tool and lots of options here to write about. So this might be a good thing to scoop up before other people do. I would love to see you guys get more write-ups in some of our industry magazines. There's a lot of them, and there's some really good writers we have in our industry.
Absolutely. We love articles. We can send out weapons for like a temporary transfer, temporary T&E for those write-ups or those articles. We also just found out I haven't found out which categories, but I think 2. We were nominated for a Gundy Award, which this is our second year in a row. We were nominated last year for most innovative brand. We didn't win, but that was our first time being nominated. We're nominated again, I believe, for most innovative brand. I think we're also going to be nominated or possibly nominated for emerging brand of the year. So anybody watching this, December 1st to the 15th, you can vote once a day per email address. And some people who are near and dear to us have also been nominated, like E. Church, who she runs a raffle similar to the one I just showed you in tactical games. She actually just finished second in nationals.
Wow.
Only lost first place by 3.5 points. Extremely proud to be affiliated with her. Our gun is run on Primal Divide hunting TV show. He's actually, our new bolt action hunting rifles are replacing Winchesters on his gun, on his show.
Wow.
And then he runs our ARs as well when he runs a gas gun. And I believe he might be nominated for a Gundy for Best Outdoorsman. Young man who went on the Surviving Ant show with us, probably one of the most talented 3-gun shooters in the industry, Nate Schmidt. He was just nominated for Best Shooter, which is a crowded category.
Yeah.
And then a friend of ours, you may know, Kevin Reese.
Yes.
I heard he may be nominated for Best 2A Rider, top 2A Rider. And then a friend he's real close to us does reviews on, he's not to do it, or I apologize. It's the Range Report, Frank Johnson, for Best Gun Reviewer. And then also he's got a Second Amendment rights thing. And so for Voices of 2A, I know I voted for a nomination for him for
really cool
for Voices of the 2A. So if you guys see those guys pop up, please vote for them. It'd be nice to see someone other than the typical big names.
Yeah.
And nothing against that, but
yeah. Yeah, it's fun to get, that's what I love about this industry. We have new people coming in all the time, and people have been doing it for years that we just haven't met yet. Like, I don't know how you and I haven't met, but that's what I love about this job, because I don't know everybody. I would love to, but it's always something to learn, always someone you meet that you can learn something from. And it's the best industry in the world.
It really is. I wish there was a little more people helping each other.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of business to go around. No one needs to, begrudge anybody else. We can all, we all have our niche. And even if we're in the same niche, friendly competition, it makes us all better.
Yes.
The winner at the end of the day is going to be the consumer, who, whether they're buying my product or my competitor's product, as long as my competitor is doing what they can to move the needle forward and deliver a better product than maybe they have in the past, then whatever. But at the end of the day, we should all get along and just have a little friendly competition at the end of the day, have a beer and laugh about it.
Yep. And, good competition makes us better. I know I can say that for me in recruiting. I'd love to say I'm the only recruiter, but that's not really the case. And nor could I be. I couldn't serve that many people. It's good that there's other recruiters, and I'm glad there's other recruiters. And I want my competition to be really good quality, because it makes me better.
Right.
So that's the part of being in America. That's what makes us so great, a great country to live in.
I agree.
Well, thank you very much for being on the podcast, KB. I encourage everyone to take a look at 50 rifles. And until next time, this is Shaylene Kiner with HeadHunters Northwest. I look forward to serving you on the next podcast. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the HeadHunters Northwest podcast. Specialized recruiting, specialized approach. You can reach out at HeadHuntersNW.com or call 605-600-1709. Join us again next week as we look behind the curtain into the global defense, small arms, and shooting sectors. HeadHunters Northwest, finding you the best heads for business.